Hello and welcome to Brands Hatch and the 2015 Mini Festival. We're here for the fourth annual running of the Sanwa Trophy Mini Endurance. You can see the sun is shining and the crowds are already starting to gather, ready for some fantastic classic mini racing. Well, Matt, we're used to seeing you in the British touring car paddock, and here you are in the mini paddock. What are you doing this weekend?
Yeah, slightly more relaxed weekend. So this weekend we're out in the Pre-66 Mini behind us, and yeah, massively enjoyable weekend. It's obviously to see so many minis that are from period is great, and then driving them is just it's just amazing fun.
And tomorrow's race is a kind of mini endurance, 40 minutes, and you're sharing the car with a teammate.
Yeah, so Jason and myself. So we've got a 40-minute race. Obviously, pit stop windows 15 minutes to 25. So yeah, we'll see where we fare. I think we qualified P9, so we're on the back of the front guys. But it looks like there's going to be very close racing. There's a lot of cars in there, and hopefully we can go forward.
And how's that for you, kind of doing a pit stop race? That's something a bit new as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's different. Obviously, we don't do that in touring cars, but we do it in a lot of the other stuff that we do. The sort of Goodwood Revival meeting, we do some endurance stuff. So yeah, it's certainly it throws in another element to the race. You've got to make sure that it goes well, and it can also go wrong. So yeah, it's going to be good.
Well, we'll look forward to seeing how you get on, and look forward to seeing you having lots of fun and hopefully lots of sideways action.
Well, hopefully we'll see you on the podium.
Excellent stuff. Thanks, Matt.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Welcome down to the grid for the start of the Sanwa Trophy Mini Endurance. We've got a grid of over 20 fantastic Pre-66 minis ready to start this race. We've got ex-Formula One drivers, we've got a touring car driver, a British GT driver, and great conditions. Everything we need for a fantastic race. Let's go racing.
Thanks, Charlie. This is the Sanwa Trophy Endurance for the Pre-66 Minis, and it's Nick Padmore who starts in pole position. Alongside him is going to be Phil Anning, then it's Adrian Barwick and Bill Solis on row 2. No Justin Cooper or Martin Donnelly, sadly, the inside of row 3. A little bit of a creep from Phil Anning, but he stops it just in time. As away we go, 40 minutes of action ahead of us around the Brands Hatch Indy Circuit. It's Nick Padmore who gets away and is going to lead into Paddock Hill Bend, with Adrian Barwick looking to try and sneak through in second. He can't quite do it. Phil Anning then downhill just clear of David Usher, and Bill Solis alongside him in the other white Mini. Usher the all-white car, Solis the white car with the dark roof, as the field cleanly negotiate the opening couple of turns and head down out of Druids on towards Graham Hill Bend. And the Sanwa Trophy Endurance has become something of a fixture in the Brands Hatch Mini Festival over recent seasons. Lower down the field, they're all looking to gain ground. The Costello Shriver car looking to progress earlier on, just clear of the O'Connor and Downing entry. Many of the cars in this race are two-driver concerns as the field swoop through Clark Curve onto Round Straight on towards the end of the first lap, and ready trying to pull away is Nick Padmore, who's being kept very honest at the moment by Phil Anning, who is staying in tow just behind him. Then a little bit of a gap back to Adrian Barwick. Bill Solis, a former star of Mini 7 Mini racing, is there in 4th place. In 5th we've got David Usher. In these early stages, all going to be about working together, not pushing the cars too hard, but trying to build a little bit of a buffer over your rivals, because these cars slipstream so easily. It's very unlikely we're going to see anybody making a particularly decisive break until the very, very late stages of the race, as through clearways they come along the Brabham Straight. A little bit of a gap in the traffic to the next couple of cars. It's Graham Crutcher, the bright yellow car. He has slipped down into 7th position. Also progressing very, very strongly from the tail of the field. That's Jonathan Lewis in car number 1. He's going past the Graham Churchill Peter Baldwin car, which we'd expect to be extremely competitive. Is the car of Michael Skeller, and into the gravel trap. We've got somebody in a little bit of trouble. Now, who that was, we couldn't quite see because all we saw was a sky blue Mini bouncing through the gravel. It's not the Stella car, because that continues on its way. If that car did go off and has been beached, then I fear that we may see the intrusion of a safety car, because that will not recover itself in a moment. Meanwhile, Bill Solis darts to the inside of Phil Anning, and wherever you look through the field, there are some great battles underway, and that's the beauty of these 366 minis. They really were perfectly timed for racing. There is Solis. He has sealed the deal on Phil Anning. They have got Dave Dusher just behind them. All of this is allowing Nick Padmore actually now to begin to ease away at the front of the field, or he was, but the safety car has been scrambled. So out comes the safety car. The race is brought under control. Solis pokes an arm out of the window just to acknowledge that he has seen the safety car boards and is backing the field up. So there'll be some rapid retrieval undertaken by the Brands Hatch Marshals. That completed, the lights are out on the safety car. We go racing once more. Is Padmore, who's going to try and pace the field away, but this time he has got Bill Solis snapping right at his heels, and already Solis getting into the slipstream behind Padmore. Then they get back to Phil Anning. He's got David Usher, and then Henry Barwick just behind him. As Solis challenges Padmore through Paddock Hill Bend. Oh, they almost make contact, both of them snapping sideways, and somehow they have retained their wing mirrors. That looked very unlikely for a couple of moments, as Bill Solis snatches the lead of the race away from Nick Padmore as they run downhill, swing through Graham Hill Bend and along the Cooper Straight. A little bit of pushing along from Nick Padmore. He'll probably be content to work with Bill Solis at the moment if it is going to give them a degree of daylight over Phil Anning and the rest of them in third position. Solis, who's always been something of a mini specialist throughout his career. We have seen him in all manner of historic motorsport and contemporary racing and radicals as well. Very, very talented driver is Nick. Just shaking off Dave Dushan already. The field begins to split a little bit. There is Gregor Furcher. He has got William Ward in the sky blue car just tucked in behind us. Solis defends from Padmore as a pair of them run nose to tail up Hillwood Hill, round Druids and then down into Graham Hill Bend. Padmore just snatches a break. Car slips sideways. Solis again defending along the Cooper Straight. He's determined not to allow Nick Padmore past. I think Padmore feels that he's maybe got a little bit of pace underneath him, and if he could get past Solis, he might just be able to build a little bit of a gap. But at the moment, that chink in daylight is not forthcoming, and it's Solis who continues at the front of the field in this Sanwa Trophy Mini Endurance. It's a 40-minute race, of course. We are still in the relatively early stages as they both trail on the brakes into Paddock Hill Bend. Solis braking his latest and dares. Nick Padmore being equally bold, climbing uphill into hairpin of Druids. A pair of them are still not completely into clear daylight ahead of Phil Anning in third place. Anning has got a very rapid Brett Yellis to pass over to at mid-race distance. So again, along the Cooper Straight, and Nick Padmore draws alongside Solis. Then it's Anning and Usher next long, and Padmore's now got the opening. He finds the way through to the inside at Clearways, eases past Bill Solis. It's Padmore who reclaims the advantage at the front of the field as the pair of them run down out of Clearways through Clark Curve and along the Bramham Straight. Solis though draws back alongside Padmore almost immediately. The pair of them get on the brakes at Paddock Hill Bend. Padmore leaves it desperately late. So does Bill Solis. Can Nick Padmore claim the apex? Doesn't look like it. And Solis has got the opportunity now, climbing up Hailwood Hill towards Druids. Solis to the inside. Padmore slotting back in to second place as they run downhill out of the hairpin on towards Graham Hill Bend. Many miles away from the pit window opening as now, as the two leaders really battle will just give Solis a little bit of a tap along the Cooper Straight. It brings Phil Anning and David Usher into the mix, and what was a very clear-cut two-car fight for the lead has now become a four-car train. Just a little bit slithery sideways for Bill Solis. He has got Padmore filling his mirrors. Padmore in turn has now got Phil Anning filling his mirrors. Then it's David Usher next along. Great for Paddock Hill Bend. Areas sliding on the skinny tyres, but somehow the traction always keeps itself in favour of these minis. One of the cars further back down the field just taking a little bit of a trip through the gravel track at Paddock Hill Bend, but it doesn't cause any particularly undue issues. Race leaders turn through Graham Hill Bend, sprinting along the Cooper Straight. And as Solis and Padmore work together once more, immediately they pull a couple of car lengths out over the car of Phil Anning. Turning through clearways and into the pit lane comes Nick Padmore. So Padmore ducks into the pits very early in proceedings. Clearly he feels that the car is losing plenty of time bottled up behind Bill Solis, so he brings himself out of that train of cars down through Paddock Hill Bend. They come. Bill Solis leads in the Sanwa Trophy Mini Endurance. We will take a short break. Join us in a moment's time.